Someone said the mic was muted. Oh, so it's not muted anymore. No, I haven't been drinking. Only but coffee. Only but
Straight
coffee.
coffee.
Hello, hello. You want to give us an introduction, Sharon?
Yes, we are Craig and Sharon Butts taking the journey together. The other names that we go by, this is Imar and I am Zare.
All right.
So, and we're taking this journey together. And guess what?
What?
We are hot.
Oh, we are
We
today.
are. We are
And
hot
how? Why are we hot today?
because we are honest, open, and transparent. And we've got the button to prove it. Yeah.
That's funny. That is real funny. So you want to tell us what our vision statement is?
We are going to relate. It doesn't matter what a mother, father, sister, brother says. It doesn't even matter what Jesus says. We are going to relate. And taking the journey together, we believe that it is ideal when you relate in a balanced manner. In order to relate in a balanced manner, is you find that one person that is your friend, and you take that friendship and you build that friendship relationship into a lover relationship. And then when you decide to become committed in a relationship, whether that's marriage or cohabiting or whatever, you are entering into that agreement with your friend and lover in one.
Exactly. I love how you say that. We usually look at that kind of relationship, a thriving or healthy or spiritually inspired relationship. There's no doubt about it. You'll hear some things today that we'll be talking about. Like one of our principles called hot. Are you hot? It's a button that you can actually pick up. You can look at the bottom and scrolling at the bottom. We'd love to have you pick up that hot button. That money goes towards this great station and all that is doing for everybody, left everybody in the community. You want to give everybody or anybody a hint. What does hot mean? Outside the fact she do look hot, I have to admit that.
No,
but
don't even
what
do
is
that.
okay? So, well, you can always say it back if you want.
But hey, you're
No,
always hot.
no. Anyway,
You in
what?
in your case, it will be handsome all the time.
Okay. Wow. I don't exactly think and knows what that means. But those out there who don't know what hot means and have been with for quite a while, she's going to tell you what hot means. So just hold on. We want you still to go ahead real quickly. What is it called? Share it to your friends, share it to your enemies, share it to anybody who's got a relationship, who wants to polish it, who wants to expand it, and wants to make it better than what they actually have right now. That's what taking the journey together is all about. And that's what we're going to do to help you out today with what we are discussing.
And share it with your friend who you want to build that lover relationship with so that you can be in a balanced relationship together. That person that you share everything with anyway.
Yes. What? That's a lover side. No, you mean you want to share with the lover so they can become more a friend?
No, that's why I said share it with your friend.
Oh, that they might become a lover?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Well, that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Because that's, you have to start at the friendship level.
You should.
And then build on it.
Yes.
So, that person that you want to have that healthy, thriving relationship with, share it with them.
So you don't want them to stop with friends with benefits?
No.
Because that's what some people were thinking is friends with benefits. I mean, in a way, when you have a lover and a friend together, you could actually operate it as a friend with benefits.
But that's
right?
not committed.
Well, that's true. Because it could be a casual relationship.
That's fly by night.
That could
literally
be, it could be an overnight sensation. That's about it.
Yeah.
So I guess we're trying to say that if you want to put both of those mixtures there, make sure the foundation is friendship, no doubt about it, then you could definitely have a good long-term relationship, whether it's married or what's
cohabitating or however you have it set up.
Yeah.
So yes.
Friendship, no doubt about friendship is very, very important, which is what we're talking about today, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So again, you see on the bottom of the screen, please get your hot button. So when you walk around, it's over here, you walk around, people stop because they stop us once in a while. We had a young guy stop us at a food place and asked us what it meant. We told him, and he said, I'm going to talk to my girlfriend about this because she knows as much as me. We both need to be hot. So, hey, carry those buttons around, gives you a chance to talk about our show, gives you a chance to start a good conversation. And guys, if you wanted to start a good conversation with the lady to find out if she's going to be a good friend to you, this button would help you out.
Yes. And
don't you think?
And it's okay if you have it on and somebody walks up and they say, "What's that about?" And you ask them, "Well, what do you think it is? It has to do with relationships. What do you think it is?" Don't get upset if they give you the wrong answer. If they give you the usual answer, or they give you that little smile as they kind of lean back,
Hmm.
you know what they're thinking. But then that's how you start the conversation. That's how you start informing people of a different way of thinking, a different way of doing things.
Exactly, exactly. Most of us know that, hey, we ain't doing too well when it comes to talking to another sex or a woman in the
Yeah,
first place,
gender.
and
Yeah,
vice versa. Many times we ain't
yeah.
doing much. Some people say you ain't got no Mac on anyway. In the first place, you might have
Then
some.
get a
You
button.
might have you might have what, a ham and cheese Mac
A Big Mac,
or Big Mac, but that's about it.
mac and cheese.
So
Yeah.
I want to before we go into this one, I want to talk about something I was looking at today at a talk show that I wanted to bring in. Once in a while, I'm
Wait,
going
wait,
to do
but
that.
you didn't talk about what our topic is.
Oh, okay. Why don't you tell us what topic is? I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Today we are doing the part two. We didn't get
Mm-hmm.
finished just last week. We just got started.
Mm-hmm.
Part two, relationship cheerleader versus inspirational coach.
And yes, yes, the inspirational leader in versus a relationship coach. We're in turn got two different techniques, if you may want to say, or ways to express yourself. We got them going head to head,
Yes.
guys, like in a football, basketball game, head to head, one versus the other. Which one is going to actually win?
Or
What?
are they equally important?
I don't
That
know.
would be a
Can you
tie.
can you can you
That would be
actually
a
can you
tie.
have two winners? They don't. I don't think in America they do two winners.
It's a
Do they
tie.
do they do that in school? Since you were teaching school, don't they right now let people have kids games now where they can have two winners?
Oh yeah, that's so bogus.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because what it does when they do that is it sets kids up to not know what it's like
To lose?
to lose. And so they grow up thinking that they're supposed to come out on top in everything.
But if you have
And
two winners, that doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean, in boxing, I saw a boxing match not too long ago, and there was actually two winners. They tied in
and that's
points,
what I'm
and
saying.
both of them were two winners.
If it's a tie, yes.
Well, but that's
But
what I
what I'm
mean.
saying is the reality is if you know if I if we're playing, say we're playing backgammon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember backgammon. Let's say we're playing dominoes.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing dominoes, and you you win that game. You can't turn around and say I'm the winner too.
We're gonna.
But
Hey,
but
this table is right now because I need to bring this up. What I saw, and you'll see why
okay.
we need to table it, because that would be the time to bring it out, put on the table what you said, because what I'm getting ready to read is pretty much something similar to what you're talking about, and you'll see how I think it will interweave with our topic that we're talking about today. But anyway,
Okay.
there were some young folks who were on the internet and they were talking about relationships. These are the 34 years down. I think they're called the Y generation, and they were talking about relationships. They the hip hop generations. Excuse me. They are the dance club lady generation, looking all good when it comes to Holly having nothing on, skimpy dresses and all this stuff. But that's the lifestyle they're living in. They have a high amount of income, higher than most African Americans have had, even white folks have had. Including us. I mean, because they're in that hip hop world that's
Mm-hmm.
bringing some money in, and that's kind of lifestyle that they live. I guess the example you could give would be like the Atlanta, what is it called, Housewives,
Yeah.
if you may want to say. So anyway, I was watching one of their shows. I forgot the name of this talk show. In this guy who's supposed to be a relationship expert, he's a young guy, relationship expert, and he's talking to all these ladies around him. There's three guys who ain't talking at all, but they're basically letting him be the spokesman, and one woman is being spokesman. And this is what I got out of their conversation, which I wanted to bring up, that I thought was real shady. I can't say shady, I won't say that, but I thought was a different conclusion. Let's see if I can find, there it is. Let me bring it down here. Basically, it's their overall from this guy was this: men don't want women to be equal in a relationship. Therefore, they are uncomfortable with independent women. In fact, independent women have too much masculine energy.
Wow.
Therefore, they gave examples of what this young man gave the example that there could only be two kings or two presidents when it comes to running the country. On so many words, running the business, or they say running a relationship. One has to lead, the other one has to follow. So, so their conclusion, at least this is what the women agreed upon. They kind of seem to agree upon it being there, that most women really want to follow or submit to a real man. And this real man has to be what they call a high valued man, or an alpha male, not a beta male. And that high value man only really this is what the conclusion was. High value men only really value the looks of a woman, i.e. their attractiveness. And on the other side, top tier women they are only looking for men, or high value men, who can take care of them and take care of them and furnish all the stuff they want in their life. And this was pretty much the conclusion of their conversation, that they basically would said what agreed upon that the relationship should be. And I wanted to bring that up to you. What did you think about that? And anybody else that's listening right now, watching our show, what do you guys think about what is a high value man and what is a top tier woman? Back in my day, we called them good looking, best looking, fine. And then went to a period where they're a dime, a quarter, a platinum, and all that stuff. Now they're top tier or a high value man. Tell us what you think the meaning is of a top tier or high value man. And Sharon, you talk to me a little about what you think about those kind of strategies in a relationship when it comes to how they relate one another. And we'll see how we can kind of either blend this in or make the bridge over, if you may want to say, or expand into how that coach position and that inspirational position, how they still fit with one another. Because all I see in his conversation with that round table, it seemed like it was a competitive kind of talking there. One where the male says, you just don't let you know, males ain't comfortable and don't see women or look for women out of women, the same thing that women look for out of men. And that's pretty much what how they came to that conclusion. So what's your thought about that?
Yeah, well, high value in that situation that you just read, it was high value man. It comes down to who's placing the value. Is it the men themselves that are saying that I'm high value, or is it is there some criteria that puts them in that
I guarantee
category?
you it's the men who are coming up with themselves being high value.
And then to say that the value of a woman is in her appearance, but then they'll turn around and say, I don't want a gold digger. Well, that's kind of like two sides of the same coin. Because you're saying I only want you because you look good, but I don't want you to want me for my money. And I don't know. I'm having some issues with that. I'm having issues with the high value.
You would have an issue with that. You really would. And what talk as we keep on going into what we're going into, even though this is a little sidebar out there. Anybody out there who's watching us today, please, this is spontaneous. We're definitely trying to help you expand. But if you've got some questions, or you got some also, your own ideas and your own thoughts behind what you think a high value man is, please text us. Let us know. Make your comments. We'll pull the comments up. Let other people see. We want to hear from you too at the same time. So don't make it so it's all about it's just talking. But one thing for sure, for what I saw from the conversation with those young men and young women, they were serious about these terminologies. High value men, top tier woman. Now,
That's all ego.
Well, hey, there's no doubt about it. They're running off of ego. Their self-centeredness about them, no doubt about it. That was a no-brainer, and they didn't make no bones. They make no uncomfortableness about it. The women on the other side who were saying they were independent women, they were about, I know what I want. I know what I should get. I know what I should be looking for. And of course, the guys were saying the same thing from that standpoint of view. But their idea of a high value man, and I'm going to put it out here, is he looks after himself. He's not going to be the only shining person through and amongst a score of men, but he's going to always make sure that he's 10 /10, meaning he gonna make sure he's always the number one if he walks in the room with other particular men. He's high value. He has a clear purpose, I mean what he wants, what he's going to do. He's very self-aware, at least that's what they say. And he doesn't conform to stereotypical notions of manliness. Okay. Growth is the name of the game. Now, I know the young guys who were talking, they would pretty much agree with all of that because they were, had their rap career, they had their business career, whatever that was that they were rolling with. And they were all about, as I hear young guys saying, making what? My money. Okay. Yeah. And all about how the other ones say, making my money moves. And so were the ladies talking the same thing. But they did come to a conclusion between one another. Okay. And that conclusion is what I spoke of before. What was that, Sharon?
I got stuck on the whole idea of
what?
I got stuck on the whole thing, but it's almost like they just the women want to be taken care of, that they want somebody that's gonna provide them with the things that they want. I don't know. That's hard. It's like if I am. I don't know. I have a lot of issues, and maybe it's just because I'm just way too old to deal with this.
No. Okay, let's put it out. Anybody knows what a top tier woman is? Please put it out. Make comments. Let us know what top tier woman. I mean, I really pulled it up real quickly what a top tier woman was, and I know out of the conversation they had, a top tier woman was pretty just boiled down to is that she's
beauty and no brain.
She's attractive. She takes care of herself. She always makes sure that her body looks good. She wears things that look good. Bottom line, she's a very attractive woman. And you're right. We could say very much because we're baby boomers that I just told her age, didn't I? Anyway, that she's what? Beauty
and no brain.
And that's pretty much how the conclusion of the conversation was. The guys who were talking like they're top tier, they said, as a man, we ain't even attracted to no brains. We're not attracted to her feelings. Wow. We're only thing we're attracted to how she looks. That's what we really attracted to. And through the table that was there with women, they almost came at the end and said in so many words, yeah, okay, we understand that. And all of them were dressed to the nine in my old days too, but looking good too at the same time looks. But they all agreed with that same thing, that when it comes to top tier men, what is that? High value men and top tier women, it's all about the woman looking good for attraction and attracting that herself towards or being attractive to that particular alpha male or that high tier male. I mean,
high value
man, and that's what that was all about. That's how that relationship is.
And that's the thing that got me about that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
They associated value with men and levels with women.
Yep. Hey, we got somebody else. Janice Hall says what?
Beauty is only skin deep.
Those males who we just were talking about, they would say, no, the booty is what's at skin deep.
And you get a certain age and it's going to fall.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I would just not shock, but move that still same thing that I grew up with was still there. That, beauty was and cool, exactly. That in turn, we don't care about her brains. We don't care about her feelings. It's how she looks. And then I knew growing up some women who were like marrying up or whatever you may want to call it. That's usually from another country, by the way. But
not necessarily.
They were really connected with the ball players, football players, the business guys, because they made money. Or when I was in the military, the women always would stay around the base and stuff because they want to connect with us so they can get some money out of us and move out of their situation. Mm-hmm. So what I was surprised about is that still kind of traditional relationship thing was still going on in our next generation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what was really, it was tweaking me. I'm like, wow, seriously, I guess they have no concept or no idea of a balanced relationship or a healthy relationship or a inspirational spiritual relationship. Because to me, come to think of it, one of the young guys says, a woman wants to submit and follow to a man. When you really think about it, that's what she really wants to do. And he's supposed to just tell her what to do. And you guys know it, right? You know that. Men want that. And most of the women there, at that level there, I mean, they're 35 and under, they kind of shook their heads while they're at the table. I like,
and
wow, okay.
and a lot of females are raised with that coming from church and everything, that
Mm-hmm.
the man is the head of the household,
Mm-hmm.
and and he leads in the decisions and blah 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 blah. But
There's
that
your
does
blah,
not
blah,
mean
blah.
but that doesn't mean but that doesn't mean that he is the sole decision maker. If he says,
Mhm.
I want us to build a house on the moon,
I'm gonna put you on the spot real quickly. Do you believe that?
do I believe what? That a man
That you're supposed to submit to a man, and the man's supposed to be running the show.
I do and I don't.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
And that's what I'm doing. I do and I don't. I believe that I do believe in the male lead, but I also believe that it should be a conversation.
Let's anybody out who's watching this, like I said, share friends, share enemies, share people you really want to know. Text us. What do you feel? Do you feel that a man is supposed to run the show and the woman is supposed to submit to it? Again, this was the conclusion that at the high level, was it high level male? High value male,
the man has the value,
exactly,
the woman does not.
And the woman who's the top tier, that is how that relationship should be when you get there. And the guy was saying that since I got so many choices of women, ain't about that woman trying to tell me what to do and how I should connect you, because I got too many choices. So therefore, I am going to be the one that runs the show in a relationship. And of course, on the other side, the women who were independent, running their own business stuff, their thought was, well, if I get a guy that makes as much money and more, then naturally so I'm going to submit to him and he's going to run the show. And I'm thinking, wow, that's kind of crazy. And these are women that definitely were attractive, no doubt about it. But their idea at that level was, it don't make a difference what I think, what I feel, what my job is. If he's a high level guy, high value guy, he's got money, I automatically know that he's to run the show and I'm going to submit to it. I mean, that's what that conclusion was.
Yeah.
So again, those out there, say yes or no, or raise your hand. Don't be afraid. We ain't gonna tell nobody.
Raise your hand if you're sure.
If you're sure about that. What one of the things that I saw that was kind of difficult, I know talking with you being you are older women, but I don't think it's just the older women too. But I also think because you have a different belief system coming from the baby boom generation, was that fact that if in turn, what happens if you have brains with a beauty?
Yeah.
In a booty. So anyway, what happens when you have that? I mean, because you could tell by discussing in the discussion, there was no middle ground and leeway for that when it came to the women's side. There was nothing discussed. Does the man have to look good? He has to keep in shape. That really was not even discussed whatsoever at all. I'm just saying it wasn't discussed. The discussion was that woman has to look good. No one brought up the complexity of what happens if she's also with a whole bunch of brains. Yeah. She's very smart, or some people say sapo or sexual. I mean, sapiosexual. I mean, what do you do then? So I guess a high value man is like, I don't value her. I can't deal with her.
She would be competition for his ego.
Probably so.
But second of all, there are a lot of women who will, and I hate this term, but it's the fact, dumb themselves down just to fit. Dumb themselves down just to live the lifestyle that he wants.
Okay.
It's and it's one of those manipulative on both sides. It's a manipulative relationship.
It is. I could tell by the way they both were talking. It was a manipulative only from the standpoint you could tell. It was almost if they were talking about trying to monetize the relationship.
Yeah.
One knowing I need to make money to do what I need to do. But on the other side, I have to have attractive woman, because if I have attractive woman, in my day, used to say have a trophy. A trophy wife. That if I have a trophy, a good looking wife, whether she's a model or stuff, then it's going to help me out in my career when it comes to whatever I'm trying to do in the world with other particular males. And of course, that woman kind of feels, well, hey, if I can get more things, I can in turn get a better life when it comes to material wise. I'm going to go with the flow. And it's pretty much how they talk. Even though the woman who spoke for the other particular women, she was saying she was making $50,000. I'm like, wow. So does that mean she gives up her job during that time, or she dumbs her job down, make it as not important? Maybe he don't talk about it. Maybe he don't get involved with it. So she don't say much about it whatsoever because she knows he's making money. He's got the power moves. People most are dressing and going with him. All she has to do is look good and be on his arm, and boom, that's how it rolls.
And in that world, $50,000 a year is not that
Well,
much.
that's because you make $155,000. No, she doesn't. I'm lying about that. So folks,
She's a
forget
teacher.
I know that, but you
what
you
I'm
understand
saying
what I'm
is,
saying?
I do. But what I'm saying is, a high value man would look at that as, you're not making any money. I'm making 100,000,
Mm-hmm.
easily. And sometimes I'm making, what you make in a year, I'm making in a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would still be looking at her as a pauper and someone that needs to submit to them
Yes.
at 50,000, and probably would be seeing her as not really that valuable in any other way, because she's not contributing a comparable income. Um, he doesn't and maybe cannot keep up with her intellectually, because it never
Okay,
said
you
anything.
talk about the brain side.
Yeah,
Because I'm
it
gonna
never
say if
said
she's
any-
just if he is basing her just on beauty, and she's coming in just on beauty as a top tier woman, then she's not going to really be concerned so much about how much intellect, how smart she is to a certain extent.
Yeah.
She's going to push the level, always making sure she looks good, to stay in that flow and connection of how he wants to roll in that particular case, and interpretate that relationship.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really it's a relationship that is not built for long term.
I mean, there's probably are many relationships out there who, in turn, have been that way. Especially when you talk about in the movie star world, talk about in the athletic world, in the business world too. Anything that has to do with that dynamics of power and money, it usually rolls that direction. Sadly to say, on that particular note, because now we're going to throw in something, because the beauty part's important, and there's no doubt about it. We don't talk much about the brains portion,
Right.
and I know you want to, because you're a woman of brains and finesse and wisdom too at the same time. What you do traditionally, that doesn't happen all the time, and in turn is introduced, at least these young cats fires. I mean, these young Y generation, I guess they wouldn't even determine that. They wouldn't even thinking about that. I want to say that it leads us right now into what our topic is. You know why?
Why?
Because there is still that kind of taboo that says, leaning on the woman's side, if she's about just looks and I'm a high value man in business, I better have a woman that's also going to be only about my what? My cheerleader.
Yeah.
There's a song.
Yes.
I just married a cheerleader.
Which is why he would be less likely to want a woman with brains.
Are you saying a woman with brains can't be a cheerleader? I mean,
No.
is that what you're saying?
That is not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying that he is less likely to want a woman with brains, not because she probably won't be his cheerleader, but because she has other things that's working in her head that may not fit in with what he wants. His ego will have to compete with, she's doing what she needs to do, and she's got things that she's going on her own. She may not have time to cheerlead for him every day,
because she's using her brains. That's the problem.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. That's why he does not want a brainchild.
A brainchild. Oh, now you're saying that she's a child too. Oh, wow. That's you. She said it. I didn't. Oh wow! But you can see that kind of traditional role will be in a, how can I say it, a flow ship, because it is said if she is that high value woman, the top tier woman, and looks good, she definitely has to be my cheerleader. A lot of football players, a lot of basketball players, many of them dated and married what? Cheerleaders.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
If not a model, but they definitely, because they needed that cheerleader off the field.
Yeah.
To still help them out in their life too. So
which is hard getting, you would think with a model, because the model is always used to being cheered.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. They also
You know,
know what.
people building them up about their beauty.
Well, I know you've never been in a model before,
I
but
have
models
not.
are in the world of image, and in the world of
Hmm.
image, power and money is there, and
Yeah.
so you have to submit to that power and money as as a model. In fact, I was a very close friend to a lady who was a model. She took the next level. To be honest with you, she became a model agency. I mean,
Hmm.
she was really well known. I went to school with her. Almost dated her, but I didn't because I was too scared of her. But she loved me to death. But anyway, she started her own modeling agency up in New York and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So she became what is it? A something to the rules? What do you call it? Exception to the rule
Exception.
in this
Yeah.
particular case. And she was very intelligent, very smart, but
Hmm.
looked very good, to be honest with you, from that end. And she would talk to me about these subjects, how when she's out there on the runway and with her people and her models out there, that many of the men were out there, even women out there, with the different classes that they were in. I'm talking about financial classes of
Hmm.
life. They
Yes.
always looked down to them. They are, and then the guys who were powerful always wanted to date them. No doubt about it, they were high valued men.
Hmm.
And so they always wanted to date the models that had that trophy on their arms, had them
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah.
And they didn't need no woman
Good
to
photo
talk.
op.
Exactly. They didn't know woman to say anything and to talk about their business or nothing like that. They were
Hmm.
just there to look good. So, and no doubt about it, the idea of them being a cheerleader was strongly what they wanted, strongly
Yeah.
what they needed. So my question out there is, any of you ladies have ever been in a position, are you still in the position of being a cheerleader? I'm not saying anything's wrong with that whatsoever. I'm just giving a description of what usually, at least what these young guys were saying, what has been back in our day has been connected to women who look good. They are supposed to be nothing but cheerleaders. If you have been, hey, let us know what you feel about it. What you think about it. Do you think that was the only thing you were supposed to do to be? Did you feel demeaned at whatsoever? Did people demean you? Because I would say to you, on my side, and I know Sharon feels the same way too, when it comes to a thriving or a healthy or spiritual a relationship, we'll put it all together, then that does not work well.
No.
It doesn't work well. It doesn't flow well in that kind of relationship. It will actually sideline, disrupt, and in turn derail your relationship if you operate just that way only. Now, I didn't say there's anything wrong with a woman looking good, so don't think I said that. No doubt about it. But to then say, as a male, all I'm connected to you for is how you only look, and anything else more about you, I really don't care. And if it does have to do with anything that comes out of your mouth, you better always cheerily uplift me, make me feel good. Maybe do a couple flips in the morning like I need you to do, and always speak.
Backflips.
Yeah, that too. But always speak uplifting, so I can get ready for my day. And that's all I really need you for. Something's wrong with that.
Yeah.
That is unhealthy. That is not balanced from that end. But the cheerleader side, no doubt about it, that cheerleader side is important. And I brought this up for you, Sharon, is because the fact we got more people looking. I'm glad they're listening to it at the same time. But I said, don't be afraid to also speak back and say how you feel. Don't be afraid. We're also on WRUU. We're also in the morning on Saturdays. Every what again?
Every Saturday morning
It,
from 9 to 10 o'clock.
and you can see on the bottom where the website is to go to, and also to look at our past ones from there. So if you got any questions or you got any concerns, go ahead and bring it up. But what I wanted to say, Sharon, in this whole matter is, when you also deal with a woman who has brains and beauty, then you could understand it becomes a confusion. It can be very perplexing, especially if it's with a male, even though he may think, excuse me, like a lot of males may think with a lot of ego, I'm a high value man. I don't care what. And they got a pot to piss in. But anyway, I'm a high value man, period. Got that swagger from that end. And so,
Fast talker.
exactly. So, are you trying to say it was?
No.
Oh, okay. Let's make sure we're cooking. So anyway, so
No.
so anyway,
You were smooth.
yeah, I was. I'm always smooth. I try to be smooth, best as I can. My mama taught me that.
Yeah.
So on that particular end, then the confusion comes where, how do I deal with her? That's the fear.
Mhm.
Man, she looks good, got a good body, looks good. Ooh, makes you feel good, turns me on. But then she's got that intellectual side. How am I going to talk to her? How am I going to connect with her? because of what I just got through saying, setting that precedent.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with, how did you deal with it on the other side where you knew about, where if I'm beautiful, then men, a lot of men are going to be attracted to me, especially men who are powerful and high level, some are low, but I know that's going to happen. But yet at the same time, I'm sure you wanted to make sure that your presence and your essence as a woman who had intellect to her mind also would be expressed, but appreciated at the same time too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
but not be put in the back seat
Right.
just to make him feel good, right?
Right.
So what? How did you deal with that? Or because I know you had to. So how did you deal with it? What was your take on it?
Yeah. First of all, I never thought I was that attractive. I honestly did not.
Okay.
Still question that when you. I appreciate it when you say it, but I still question that.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, I always put my.
Look in the mirror once in a while. You're very good looking.
Well,
And
thank you.
and the men that in turn have been attracted to you, because I knew some when I first met you, gave you that outcome. Also too, I think that I'm just going to put a sidebar. Then I'm going to cut off. I think that because of your intellect side, that's that side we're talking about, that did not value, did not put value totally of who you are as a person, as a being, as a human being on just your looks, had a lot to do with why you just said what you said the first time.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
Because I grew up. The intellect was more important than the exterior appearance and all of that. Now, the way I have always dressed, that's because it was like, you are going to dress nice. You're not going to walk out looking like some vagabond. That was just my mother's way. And the fact that she made our clothes and things like that, they fit and they looked good, and it was great. We had hand-me-downs, don't get me wrong. We had hand-me-downs from anybody and everybody and folks we didn't even know. But the thing of it is, we kept in an humble place, and you can't do anything with your looks. I mean, your looks are the cards that you're dealt with, but your intellect is something that you can create, that you can hone, that you can move to the level that you want to move it to. And for me, being able to carry on an intelligent conversation with people was more important than how I looked and and all that. No.
Do you guys believe her?
But it's true.
Do you guys believe?
But it's true. I don't.
Hey, as long as we've been married and I was flirting and having our first dates for a long time ago, you never did. I mean, you always look good to me, and you always will from that end. But you never gave them perception that it was about your looks, because our first encounter wasn't really about looks. It was about what we knew in the publishing, in the book industry.
Yes.
African American books and writing. That was our first interest. The looking part was icing on the cake from then, but that was not how I was connected to you, really.
Yeah.
The first
and
time.
I've never been attracted to someone who only saw what I looked like, because that's fleeting, and to me, there's no substance to it. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate.
Thank you. Come on.
I don't appreciate the attention. I don't appreciate the
Thank you, Mr. Ellis. Is it Miss Ellis? Mr.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, Ellis, well, thank you for the great conversation. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys chime in. Don't be afraid to at the same time. We try to keep it real, but we also try to keep it right. But thank you very much.
Love to hear your opinion too.
Exactly. Thursday at 6:00. This is what you get with us. Go ahead, Shay. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But what I was saying was, I just feel like I was never I was never interested in somebody who only talked about how I looked, because what if tomorrow
say it.
I have something happen to my face or something, and I don't look like that anymore? What if I gain weight and and I don't look the same way that I did 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago? I have actually heard males say, after their wife has had a child, well, she don't look good no more. She's she's all fat and everything. She doesn't look good anymore. Well, you had a hand in that
And
too.
he might be just as fat as you, and even fatter.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But it's not about, if you're only interested in the way I look
Hmm.
on the outside, you're missing the essence of me.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And you know, the one thing that you say is the
Hmm.
first time we went someplace together. It was actually when we met for breakfast. You talk about the orange outfit I had on.
Hmm.
For me, it was hot
It was
summertime, and
bright
then
orange or yellow, whatever it
it was
was.
orange.
It was bright as can be, and I was taking her to almost like a hippy dippy
It's
kind
just
of coffee shop. What's the coffee shop
it
name in
was
Colorado?
Pete's. It was a
Nobody
breakfast,
dresses up in this breakfast.
and
Nope, not even the black folks don't even dress up
see
in Pete's restaurant. In fact, if you ever there, go visit Pete's restaurant. He does
on
a heck of
Colfax.
they do a shout out to him. Hopefully, he sends some money too. But anyway, he does a heck of a breakfast,
It was amazing.
and she's dressing like I don't know what. And I got just short pants and whatever I grungy I put on for the weekend. I'm looking at her like, damn, she looks good, but why? Why are you dressed up like that?
Because
I didn't even take you no place that good.
it was a casual outfit for me.
Oh yeah,
It was
you it was for you.
because it was in the summertime. It was
Mhm.
hot. I needed
So you
something.
should have last night. Your dress looked like it was going on down to your knees and
No, it
stuff.
wasn't. It was up. It was up. It was right at
Well,
my knees.
it wasn't
and
a
it had.
wasn't a real summertime one. You would,
Yeah, it was.
but you
It was right to my
put it like
knees,
this.
and it
You
did not have straps or
compared
anything.
today how they can dress and how I've seen you
see.
dress before. You weren't showing much. I thought maybe you were testing me to see if I really wasn't about looks.
Yeah, but
That's what I thought you was.
I wasn't. I dressed for, and see, that's the
Mm.
thing. A lot of men
Mm.
think women dress for them.
You
Most
do
women dress
sometimes. You
for.
do.
I know. I'm not
Mhm.
saying
But maybe at the
you
beginning
don't,
when think
but
about it.
most women dress for what they're comfortable in.
Mm-hmm.
They dress for their own
Okay.
comfort at that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
And that particular day, that's exactly what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do something that day. I can't remember what it was, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
something, casual to run around in.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't wrinkle. If
Mm-hmm.
I got hot and started sweating, it wouldn't start clinging to me and things like that. It was a good thing. And plus, at that time, I was like a walking billboard. I didn't want people to care about how I looked physically, facial and all that, but and body style. But the clothes that I wore, I was making. And so, if somebody said, "Oh, I like that. Where'd you get it?" I could say, "I made it, and I can make you one too." That's
Mm-hmm.
building business. And so, that's what that was about. I was not and that outfit was just kind of like, it was casual. I made it to be a casual outfit, but you saw it as
Mm-hmm.
as something that was kind of like
Sorry.
over the top.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
did.
okay.
I did. I mean, again, there's no way I'm saying that if your looks are attractive, that in turn I'm trying to judge it as being wrong. There's no way I'm doing that. I definitely love your looks and attraction to women. I do have that side, no doubt about it. Yet, again, this old kind of mentality is still moving
Mhm.
on at a high level, and that is a woman is only mostly to be connected to if she looks good. If I'm at a high level,
Right.
I don't need the brains, I don't really need the feelings, but I definitely need you to be, as we're talking about, a
Your
cheerleader for me.
Yeah.
You need to cheerlead to make me feel good, to speak to me gently,
Mhm.
all that stuff. You need to use that we perspective, the stuff we've been talking about. You need to do all that for me as that alpha male, or for me as that
High
value man,
Yeah.
because that's the only reason why you're here, because I don't need you for nothing else.
Yeah.
From that end.
But that was the thing that I was mentioning. The only reason I
Mhm.
mentioned that orange outfit that I had on
Mm-hmm.
was because we sat there at breakfast
Mm-hmm.
and had a business meeting and an intellectual conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and what I was wearing never came into
Mm-mm.
to play. I didn't even know what you thought about what I had on until after the fact.
Yeah, yeah. When we were driving, I said something else, and then you
Hmm.
thought, "Oh shoot, how do you know?"
Yeah,
But
we won't go
I was looking then. Okay, after they got all that conversation out of the way, I said, "Oh, maybe let me look at her and see what she's all about." And when I got an iPhone, I'm like, "Oh, I like that."
there.
But I think the point here when we're talking about, of course, healthy relationship, balanced relationship, spiritual relationship, all of them in one, especially when you're moving to where we're moving to, where you're looking more for how that person thinks and feels more than just their outside, which is a balanced thing. Then we all talking about a spiritual relationship. We all
Yes,
talking about something healthy. That's what we're talking about in a relationship, and so that can happen in thriving relationships. Taking that journey together is what we're all about. So the cheerleading part, as we've been talking about, is certainly important, but I would say to you, it is not important just for her to do.
exactly.
No, that cheerleading part that we're talking about versus one another relationship is also important for, I know a lot of you males are going to be upset, but also important for us to be able to do. And
Mhm.
by the way, I know I'm looking at the camera, look at you, but by the way, I didn't know, didn't pay much attention to, that there are male cheerleaders.
Oh yeah,
Been for a long time.
oh yeah.
I wonder how they get made fun of. I think probably too. I mean, because I wasn't much into sports, and when I was, I mean, I played street ball.
Yeah.
I was definitely that. And I played, touch football and tackle football on the weekends with the guys from there. But I never got
But
into the, organized sport thing until
mhm,
I got in the military, and it wasn't long I played basketball for them.
mhm.
But yet, at the same time, the cheerleader portion outside the women you looked at, I didn't pay much attention to. I didn't know that actually males have
Yeah,
been in cheerleading, and they have more than one generation of males being in
yeah,
generation. And
oh
I'm
yeah.
talking about an all black guys,
Hmm.
white guys, all
Yeah,
coaches have been
yeah.
cheerleaders in
That
games.
you get a lot of them in
Hmm.
high school and college. I have not seen any on the professional level. Not to
Hmm.
say that there aren't, because I haven't seen all of the, all I haven't seen it all. But I'm just saying I've not seen
Hmm.
any at the professional level, like NFL, NBA, things like that.
True.
But oh yeah, high school and college, you see a lot of them in competition cheer.
Oh, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because we went one time to SSU and we did the audio there for the Battle of the Bands,
Mm-hmm.
and the brothers were like doing it with the canes and all. I don't know what they called.
Those weren't
They went cheerleaders.
cheerleaders.
Okay, I'm wrong.
No, they were they were drum
Okay,
majors.
drum majors. Even at that, they weren't football players.
No,
I mean, so
but for drum majors that lead the bands out, that's an
Mhm.
HBCU icon.
Okay.
That's an iconic position in HBCU bands.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, at the same time, they help bring up the spirit. They
Yes.
help in
Yes.
turn make the people in the crowd and also prepare for those who are going to play the football game feel
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah.
They overall do another arena of cheerleading is
Exactly.
what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Outside the straight ones that you're talking about on the floor, we're doing all that jumping and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's important for us males to be a cheerleader to our lady, a woman, or a partner, especially if she's an intellectual. She's got a mind, she's got brains outside a good face, and she looks beautiful body wise. You got to also, on the balance side, be able to cater to her intellect too at the same time, and who she is as a person. And so that cheerleading portion, which we've been talking about, we'll talk about some more, is also just as important. And I know that the high value men and those high tier women, I know, talking to, excuse me, watching that show today, that is not going to change. That is like a generational thing that still
Mm-hmm.
moves on
Yeah.
at that level. And I did not see the way they were talking. If they thought there was any other way,
No.
they figured that place that way, that if you're going to play at that high level and that kind of money comes on and you're what is it, a mover and a shaker, that's just how it rolls, period, from that end. And so I've got nothing really, and I hope you feel the same way too, I don't know, that we can say judgmental or say it's so wrong. All we can do as coaches is to point it out that exists.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are about wanting to run and operate that way
Yeah.
in their relationships.
Yeah. And what just popped into my head
Hmm.
is, you know, to me, that whole attitude and that idea of, the high
Hmm.
value,
Hmm.
emphasis on the value man, and the top tier, tiers can change all the time. You may be top
Mhm.
tier, but you may have a top tier here, but then
So
later
are
you'll
you
put
trying to
another
judge the
tier here.
situation, try to tell them what they
Mm-mm.
can't do?
No, I'm
What's
I'm
up?
I'm telling you, I'm moving on to something else. I'm making a
Okay.
point here. The
Okay.
I know it's a long way around, but the
Mm-hmm.
thing of it is, if you are dealing with a high value man and a top tier woman, top tier female, you're negating the possibility almost of what's out there called a power couple,
Okay.
where where both have value in what they're doing
And they both
together.
can be very successful working
Exactly.
together. That's a
Exactly.
good point. That's a good point. And maybe we could move some of those high value men and top tier women to not switch positions, but think about making a truce.
Or working together.
That's what I mean. Make a truce. Let's work. It'll be a truce more. Let's work together for a project and a purpose and move forward
Yeah.
in that particular. And that might that. So I thought that's good.
Yeah.
Took some brains to come up with that one. Because for me, I was like, nah, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. I remember I was dating. She was a very good lady, very good looking lady. And we were out for coffee, and I was going through the courtship period and talking with her and talking about some deep things too. At least I thought they were deep. And she seemed like she was an eclectic lady. She looked like an Erica Purdue kind of lady. She had that wrist and nose thing. I mean, she looked very earthly. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, chocolate beauty to me. And that particular time, as I was talking to her, because how she presented herself was a very natural woman, I thought to myself, man, I can have a good conversation. I know she's into spirituality. I know she's also into, trying to change things in the world and yada, yada, yada. And while I was talking with her, I was noticing she was like,
That's not
yeah,
good.
yeah, her eyes looked like they was glossing over, like there's lights on, but ain't nobody home. So I asked her, I stopped, I said, listen, yada, 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 I'm sorry.
Am I boring
I'm
you?
not, I'm not feeling this. I said, am I boring? What's going on? She goes, no, no, no. I really would love to date you, but I just can't do this. And I said, well, why? What's the problem? She said, because you make me think too much.
Okay, see, so that's one that's ready to be the top tier.
It must have been. She didn't look
Just
that way at all.
yeah.
I mean, she didn't have the, she didn't look like a we call video hole, or someone just came out of the strip joint.
Hmm.
She didn't look the way that some of the sisters look now at all. Women look now.
Yeah, but
What? So I just, you can't judge a book by its
yeah,
cover. But I
yeah,
never even thought that would have even came out of her. But she said that right. At least she was honest with me.
yes.
Right on the spot, she said that. And you know what I said?
Mm.
I'm like, oh, shoot, damn. And I appropriately said, would you like me to take you home? My ego was like, ah. And guess what? I did go home.
Wow.
She was quiet in the car too, but she wasn't quiet uncomfortable. She wasn't quiet mean. She was quiet in such a way that goes, this was pretty nice. I'm glad to be going home. And I dropped off the door, she goes, it was real good meeting you too. I hope you have good luck in your life. Something like that. She like, I'm like, wow, this is a trip.
That's that. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, that was a trip. So that's just
Consolation prize. See you later.
that's another example where
Yeah.
I've had a real experience with and she could have been someone that go with a bad boy who just thinking about her body or ball play. I don't know. All I know is she just said to me, I can't date you because you make me think too much.
And you do. You no,
so
no,
you
no,
date me because
no,
I make you think?
no. Let me finish. You cause and see that's the thing
Mm-hmm.
that just draws me to you.
Oh, okay.
It's
I thought it was
because
like irritates you.
no, it draws me to you
Mm-hmm.
because you can bring up things that are right on target, and sometimes they're things that you haven't thought of before, but
Mm-hmm.
or they have a twist to them. But at any rate, you not only bring it up, but you have um, 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 facts to back it up, and you
Mm-hmm.
have experiences, and you have, I was reading this place, and I got this, and
Mm-hmm.
then I looked someplace else, and I got this, and what do you think about that? And it's like, yes, and
You ain't
sometimes
always so
no,
yesing about it, by the
and
way.
I'm not, because sometimes I'm just glossed over from what I have had to
Oh,
do at
really?
work.
Because that's not how you do with me sometimes. I mean, one of the
No.
things that I have to admit when you're with in fact, use the word independent because that was the thing that the women were saying on the other side, that they were independent, made money, and the guys in turn who were the high value men said we can't deal with the independent woman. She's got to be attractive. And of course, again, the attractive women are the ones who said that we would submit to a man at a higher value, even though we're independent. We would do that because we understand that's the only way we're going to connect to him. But the independence was still there about trying to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that independent side, which also has to do with you taking care of yourself intellectually wise, which is why you went to teaching all this stuff, also has that kind of conflict that makes men fearful. And number two, what you just got through saying.
Yeah.
Which is, I can think too. I'm intellect too. I may not be thinking about that kind of stuff all the time anyway.
Right.
And when I'm connected with a man, I may have the feeling that I don't want a man who's high value.
Yeah.
That makes me think. And that's sad to say, that's attached to that high value men are supposed to be the only ones to make you think, which is not true.
But most of the
time they don't.
A lot of them have not thing going on up there. You can whistle and all you can hear is
no. I'm not going to say that. I'm not. No.
I'm saying
no.
some.
No. No. I'm not going to say. I'm going to
to
say that tradition that could be so.
Yeah.
I'm saying most of them who are very intellectual can be very smart, can be very cunning in business, that they just don't think that their energy needs to be directed or focused on their mate.
Yeah.
That it's too much extra time, too much extra energy. I got too much to run my game, run my empire, run my business. I ain't got no time for this, for whatsoever.
Yes.
And so I think that's a lot that has really to do that. So when you being independent and have your intellect and your intellect, then you have to deal with the fact that you still got that stereotype that you think about men shouldn't be that way.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you because I mean, obviously, you have to admit, when you took the intellectual route, and we're almost coming to the end of our show, the intellectual route meant that you can be as smart, think as much, and do as much as a man. So that doesn't necessarily mean whatsoever you figure you got to even put up with it and deal with that.
Right.
Come on now.
Well, and that's true.
That's that which is true. I talked about between your beauty and your brains.
Exactly, and that's very true. But see, I love that intellectual conversation. The problem is, the job field that I'm in, the work field that I'm in, sometimes I have to talk so much at work and work on things from a high level all the way down to a lower level of understanding, all at the same time, that sometimes by the time I get home, I just want to give my brain a rest. But you need to do a brain dump.
Well, I'm doing a brain dump all day. I'm trying to catch you up.
I know.
I'm
but sometimes I can't keep up because of how things are going.
Oh, wow.
Where I am.
Yeah. Well, we got 58 minutes, almost 59 minutes. Hey, we're going to talk more about this. You could tell that I was speaking the verse other side. I was speaking the inspirational life coach. Basically, what she's saying, as it came back to that lady that said, you make me think too much, I was talking about information that has to do with what an information life coach would do, or in this case, an inspirational life coach would do. Things that can do to build you up, things that make you feel better, things that in turn you can do better in your job, things that you can do better in life. I've always been that way all of my life. That way.
He's so good at it.
And so that's the side, and that's the side of the relationship that's also needed too. It's not necessarily should be driven just from the male.
It goes both ways.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I truly appreciate the information that I get from you.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm only saying okay because I'm looking at the time, and I think our engineer's kind of waving to us. I know he's waiting for us to stop saying things just because of the fact that I know we got something else going on. But hey, anyway,
join us Saturday morning on WRUU.
Exactly. And don't forget, in your relationship, take your relationship along with you, but take that journey together. Okay.
And be hot about it.
Yeah, be hot about it. All right. God bless. Till next time. Peace.
Take care.
Like that.